Hello everyone and welcome back to this Durbanites FPL Game Week 17 preview. Let's kick it off with Crystal Palace and Liverpool. So Crystal Palace in some trouble with Ayew, Eze and Doucouré out. No recommendations for them this week. Liverpool have no major injuries. They still have some good games coming up, but Manchester United this week could be tricky, although still favoring them to go. Look at Salah to definitely keep points coming in. Looking at Brighton and Burnley, Brighton still has major injuries at the back end as Stupinier, Lamptey, March, Ansu Fati and Enciso all still out. Still could punt on Kaoru Matoma and also look at Evan Ferguson up front to provide some firepower. And Pascal Gross has been carrying a lot of weight. Burnley, no recommendations for them this week. Now, looking at the game coming up here, Manchester United, definitely no recommendations against Liverpool. Bruno Fernandes is out, Mount looks to be out, Rashford has also got a knock, and Lindelof is back. I think just with the sheer amount of pressure they're under, I don't favor them for this one. From Bournemouth, they seem to be on the exact opposite. They've got probably the best run now in the same kind of form as Arsenal. So look at Tavernier, Neto, Billings, and Solanke. Solanke's on 70 somewhat points. He's really doing well this season. Looking at Sheffield United, again, no recommendations here, even though they managed to topple Brentford last week. Brentford are struggling. Guillermo Scada, De Silva, Matthias Jensen, all of them are out injured. No recommendations for them this week. Looking at Wolves versus Forest, Wolves, you still want to look at He-Chan and Cunha. Both of them are still on good form. Neto still remains out, and Johnston is under some pressure in the net. Looking at North Forest, Muni is still out. Ilanga and Gibbs White, they are starting in spits and starts, but I would definitely not recommend for this. Looking at Aston Villa, they are on insane form at home, but this week they're going away with Lucas Digne and Douglas Luiz both injured. The rest of the team seems to be in good health, so really have to see whether they can take that home form and translate it on their away form. Looking at Arsenal, Martinelli is doubtful, so you gotta watch him for this one. But definitely you can still look at Saka, Gabby Jesus and Martin Odegaard for their game coming up. Tomiyasu is still out. Everton have the same 5-game form as Arsenal as well, and even with the 10-point deduction, they're back out of relegation and also on favourite to beat Burnley this week. You look at Doucouré or Dwight Neal to score, and at the back, Tarkowski, Mikalenko, who does have a knock, and Jordan Pickford are good route to points. Chelsea have been inconsistent this season, but this week they have struggling Sheffield United at home, so once again looking to Sterling, Palmer, Gallagher, and possibly Jackson to get into the points. Outside bet on Enzo as well. Reece James is carrying an injury and no likely. Looking at Fulham, they are good on injuries this week, but even after this great result, I would not recommend them taking on Newcastle at St. James's Park. The Hammers might have had one eye on Europe when they took this big loss, but a home game against Wolves is a good time for Bowen and the boys to get to the points. Bowen and Ward-Prowse are the picks here. So there are no recommendations for Luton as they take on an informed Bournemouth at home this week. City may not have Haaland this week, but most of their midfield is back. So look to Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden to get on the score sheet, possibly Jeremy Doku. With Rodrigo back, a clean sheet is also probable. They do have a blank game week coming up though next week, so don't overinvest. Now, not much good news for Spurs on the injury front, but Richarlison is fit to play, and following his heroics against Newcastle and 4 winnable fixtures ahead, he is not a bad shout to join the Korean. Newcastle didn't like this result much, and the results in Europe didn't go their way either, leading to a Champions League exit. That means Eddie Howe's boys now know that the only route back into the Champions League is a top 4 finish, so look to them to press hard in the next 3 weeks to close the gap. Trippier is suspended, and Nick Pope and Sven Botman are still out. They're still also missing half their midfield, so Isak and Wilson have to support Gordon if they're going to capitalize. Now let's look at the fixture rating. Ones to look at here, you're looking at Bournemouth on their form, plus some great games ahead. you might want to take a punt on them. Chelsea as well, even though they've been inconsistent. Manchester City is the one to just watch out for. Great results on either side of game week 18, but there is a blank game week coming up that could put stress on your bench. Then Newcastle also some up and down form, but now they're out of the Champions League. Hopefully they can nurse their guys back to full form and focus on the game weeks ahead. Spurs as well, a couple of good game weeks after their bad run of form. Now they've got a win against Newcastle to kick it off. Forest and Everton could be easy ones for them to knock over before going to an injury hit Brighton as well. And then really looking to be cautious with Brighton, mainly because of their injuries and then some tough games coming up. Crystal Palace and Manchester United just don't have the form to carry them through. It's really difficult to make predictions on that. And Arsenal have been on a good run, but now are taking on some serious competitors, so may try up point scoring even if they win the game. And the same with Liverpool after Manchester United, then a tough one against Arsenal before the game starts easing up again. Now, this was a bit of a short video for us guys, running short on time in this close Friday deadline. Don't forget you have now about probably 3 hours to make your decision. Hope this video helps. Please drop me a like, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll come back with the game week 16 table as soon as possible. That's all for now.